Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Farming Simulator Storytime, and also welcome to Marwell Manor. As you know, this is my subsidiary farm next to the Oakfield Farm venture, um, and I decided to do some work over here for your entertainment, and it's going to be a mini series in a way. The basic idea is that I decided to change profile for this farm, and this is going to be the root crop root take two. This is going to be the root crops farm. Specifically, I'm going to grow potatoes over here if everything works well. And why wouldn't? Uh, But first I have quite the amount of wheat to harvest. Uh, well, I would put it in a past tense, or I could, because it's going pretty well. If you look that direction, you can see that this field is almost done. It's very close to it. Um, and then I have another field, the neighboring field, number 15, which is still growing, but there is nothing else to do with that wheat than wait for it to grow and then cut it. So in the meantime we can work on this, like getting done over here and do the baling. Possibly I will have to cultivate, because I think the potato planters are not uh, working without that. They are not direct drilling machines. So yeah, these are the possible works that I need to do. Now about this combine, this is a leased machine because I'm not gonna need any more not gonna need a combine anymore over here, at least for the foreseeable future. So I leased this one. That's the modded version that you can find over ModHub, the John Deere T560, and I would say it's a pretty good mod. Um, it grew on me already. I've been using it for almost 2 hours now, and it's a mighty fine combine. Um, sorry, so I've got a mild case of cold. You know, school year started, so it's a pretty good combine, and it's the ideal size for the farm if you don't uh, mind uh, spending too much time on a field. But then again, I don't have too many fields over here, so that's just fine, because this is the largest field in on this map. So it obviously takes a lot of time. Hell, it would take quite the time with an ideal as well. So yes, that's just okay. Um, and the Lexion that I had over at this farm is already gone. Um, I got some money for it that I'm going to put towards different machinery. Um, so possibly machine that I need to do the potato work. Uh, so yeah, that's what's going on here, and this is the main mission in this mini series. Possibly to get at least this field done with potato. The grand scheme of things is as following, and I pull up um, the actual menu map right away, because I can explain much better on there. As you can see, this is field 18. This is going to become a potato field. Then other than that, I have like 15, 17 and 19. If you remember, 18 and 19 are the starting fields if you are starting out on new farmer mode. Now, the idea is that I'm going to turn field 15 into a grass field. 17 is one already. And I'm going to plow up field 19 and turn that one the other potato field. Simply because I don't think I'm going to need that large of a grass field. It's great fun. I enjoy cultivating grass, and I enjoy grass work. You know that. Uh, but I have plenty of opportunity to do that over at Oakfield if I want to. Um, and here I really need to maximize profit on root crops, since I don't have much animals over here. Uh, and when I say that, I mean uh, I have some sheep, I think 68 or so, uh, and they need some fodder, but that's all right. That's easy, um, and I don't want that huge of a silage business going on over here. So who knows? It may even happen that I don't even turn that field over to a grass field because we have field 17, and that's more than enough. Um, But then again, if I do, then my machinery has to be improved into two fields. On the one hand, potato cultivation, and on the other hand, grass work, because I don't really have a neat mowers on this farm. And also, I don't have a baler. I usually take the baler down from Oakfield, you know, the Massey Ferguson one. Uh, now that I have the money from the combine, I may just buy one. Um, so yeah, that is going to be a thing. Now let's turn around, and oh, it's almost full, so it's going to be a tipping at the farm silo. I generally don't have too much equipment on this farm. Um, I didn't have a drilling machine either. I used to ferry the Fan 1050 and the horse pronto between this farm and Oakfield, um, and I brought the Unimog 2100 oftentimes. Over here I have the old Unimog U406 and this 820 Fant. And of course I used to have the Lexion that I already sold. So yeah. Anyway, down to story time, because that's the reason we are here, the primary reason at least. So there are lots and lots of things I'd like to talk about. For example, I never finished my elaboration on the new tour record that I brought up in the pre-sequel video with Rob, because you have to know that I'm an avid music fan. I don't think I ever mentioned that. And uh, now I don't really play music because I'm not talented that way. Uh, Playing music is not one of the many skill sets that I own, but I do enjoy music. And as it happens, for the most part, I listen to uh, well, how to put it? If we quote Lemmy Kilmister of Motorhead, then I listen to rock and roll, but on under many different names. So I both enjoy various genres of rock and metal alike, and Tool is one, as it turned out, is one of my favorite bands. Okay, let's go from it. So, Tool happens to be one of my favorite bands ever. This is what I wanted to say. Yeah, if you guys don't know Tool, then probably that is going to be quite boring for you. But if you know Tool and you enjoy their music, then probably you are going to feel the same way like I do. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, a quick recap. Tool is an American alternative slash progressive metal band that formed in the late 80s, early 90s, and which released their first record in 1993. Um, well, their music is one of a kind, really. Um, it's quite technical, quite complex, quite enigmatic at the same time, and the frontman singer Maynard James Keenan is the absolute main lyricist, and his lyrics are not from this world, to say the least, but they are so cool. It's crazy. Now, uh, ever since the first record, they've been quite how to put it, patient. I mean, they've been taking their times. Like most bands do release records in every year or every 2 year. Um, every 2 year is almost the standard, but sometimes it happens quicker than that. But then they always took their time. Like uh, their second release happened in 1996, and then the next one in 2001, and then they released a record called 10,000 Days in 2006. Now, the running joke quickly rose that the next record will take 10,000 days to make. Uh, if if you are not willing to do the math, 10,000 days is almost like 30 years. Now, luckily for us Tool fans, it didn't take as much, but it did take 13 years. Um, and a lot of us were at the verge of saying it's not going to happen ever again, that they are coming out with a new record. But they did, and it happened quite suddenly, because they first mentioned that they are close to being done with work, I think sometime around May this year, and then already at the beginning of August, in early August, they came out with the news that this and this is going to be the title, and here is the first song that we release from the record. So and then the record dropped on the 30th of August. So it all happened real quickly. They didn't waste time on hyping it up. Um, the record is titled Fear and Column, by the way. Now, uh, I have the record. I bought it on in a digital store. Um, I don't really buy physical copies anymore. Um, I'm absolutely happy about the digital age and downloading and all that. That being said, I usually like to pay for what I enjoy, and when I buy my video games, I buy my uh, records and all that. Um, so that's what happened to the tour record. I bought it. I pre-ordered it actually. I'm not much uh, for pre-ordering anymore. One of the products that how to put it, that turned me from pre-ordering things was actually Farming Simulator 19. Um, but I made an exception with that record. And well, it's a great record to be honest, if because at this point everybody wants to know where I'm getting with this, right? So it's not a bad record actually. Um, I mean, any other band could be proud about that on the world, but for a Tool record, it's meh. I already explained Rob that it it occurred to me on Friday that there are parts of songs that go in my head while I'm while my mind is idle. So when I do something that is not concentration heavy, and then they usually end up becoming a song from a previous record. So each and every song on this particular new record reminds me of an older song from a previous record by Tool. So this is really the typical case of trying to cater to the fans and trying to get it done quick and cheap. And I would go as far as I say it is a money grab, maybe in that term. And like the the sad part about it, and why I'm saying this, that everybody on the world ever in contact with Tool's music, including me, wanted to have or agreed that this one has to be a groundbreaking new record because um, we all know that they didn't spend 13 years writing this record. The most part of that time uh, was spent with other things. Like, we know that Maynard was busy with his side projects, and possibly the others also had to do stuff that would allow them to actually eat and not sleep under the bridge or something like that. So they've been busy. I'm fairly certain of that, but not with writing the new tour record. Um, but still, one would think their creative energies would be replenished and they were overflowing with ideas, but no. And I think the reason they stalled between records so much with them was specifically to avoid uh, growing their music stale, because that's typically the problem with bands that put out record after record all the time, that their music grows stale at some point and all of their records sound the same. um, and you can predict what's going to happen, kind of like Farming Simulator and FIFA and all these, like practically every record ever in the music industry is what Farming Simulator, FIFA, and Call of Duty are to the gaming industry. This uh, this must-have routine in the same time frame, repeated over and over again with slight differences. Um, and and I think Tool tried to break that cycle, and now they did nothing else but prolonged this cycle, uh, and it took 13 years to reach that point to them. Again, I have to repeat that this is a terrific record, and and lots of bands around the world would be happy to make a record like that without any outside help. But for Tool, that's nah. So I'm sad. I'm not. I don't regret buying it. Don't get me wrong, guys. It's still great to have in my digital collection, but we've seen some nice comebacks over the years. Uh, at the same time, like I have seen quite a few records where bands uh, broke their routine while staying true to themselves, and then here is this legendary band that is famous for being unique and famous for exploring its own way and making it for itself, and now they do that. That's, I don't even know. Sad is not the right word to describe that. Yeah. But this was one of the things that I spent my previous week uh, with, like getting to know this tour record. So if we say that this is a mod spotlight extra, and you want to know if I recommend you to get the new record, I will give it like 6.57 out of 10, mm, which is very good still, I would say. So there's that. Other than that, I've spent the week with uh, getting used to my new workplace, which is a starkly different school from any other that I've been working in ever. Well, not really, but okay, it's starkly different from the schools that I've spent my last 3 years in. Um, because it's a secondary school and those were primary schools. Um, and it's great, I must say. I still don't regret it in many ways. It sets different challenges, and there are certain challenges that that were present at primary school that aren't over here, and I prefer my new challenges. So yeah, I sometimes miss the kids from the previous school, obviously, but the kids over here are just as likable and awesome. So yeah, and strangely enough, most of the time when I step out of the school after being done with my lessons and all the things that I have to do over there, I feel mostly energized. Whereas uh, when I was done with my day at the primary schools in the previous 3 years, I felt like tired and drained. But this time around it's different. It's a whole another story that by the time I get home I feel just as drained and tired, but that is mostly with because of interactions outside of school. Like the the darkest place I've been to this week was on Thursday when I went to get my uh, monthly bus pass. I Because now I go to work by bus because that school is in the neighboring town, not in my town. Um, and so I need to take the bus, and I need a monthly pass for that. And obtaining that is quite the hurdle, to say the least. So much so that by the time I was done with everything that you need to do in order to be able to well, now what? Oh, okay. I So I was literally on the verge of crying. Um, and you guys know, because I repeat it over and over again, that I am a 33-year-old grown-ass man, and I could get on the verge of crying while be it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm really tired. It's just I don't feel tired when I'm done with school, and I was really tired, and that all just added to that. But that was quite a harrowing experience. The part where I got the mug shots, uh, because there is a uh, an identity card that goes to the bus pass, with that has to contain a photo. Um, and I didn't have those small ID card photos at hand. I ran out of them, so I had to have new ones done, and I did that. That was all right. That was a simple ordeal. Like, there is this photo shop in town. I went there. Um, I the lady at the shop made the photo, and then she produced the ready samples. I picked them up, and then I went to the bus station, and that is, well, the bus station in my town is really not a nice place, to put it mildly. I think if Rob uh, listens to this, and probably he's going to, he will agree with me that the bus station is not a nice place. Um, and that's one thing. But the other thing, that because that was the first week of September, and everybody is getting their bus passes during this week. The place is full of angry, tired, um, impatient people, like I was. Everybody wants to get done with that as quick as possible. And then there was the one single lady dealing with the issue in one single behind one single window. And she you could just tell by her looks that she's not a people person, and then her behavior reinforced that further. And I do understand that she's been doing this the whole day, and it was the afternoon, but still, uh, making life difficult for others just because yours is difficult is not a nice thing, now is it? um, so uh, yeah, practically nothing special happened. It's just the total sum of the experience, like all the people yapping about in the hall where this window is, and then the lady with her unfriendly manner and all that. That was not good. Now it won't be that difficult anymore, because now I have that identification part that is good for I think 2 years or so. So it's going to be alright. I just have to get the bus pass every month. But then again, it's not easy. And there is another way to get that. You can buy that from the bus driver, which is even worse. Um, some people do that, but I wouldn't, because one, that is causing hold up, uh, and it's not nice to your fellow passengers to cause hold up uh, when getting on the bus. And then secondly, if the lady at the window is irritable because of you try to spend money at their company, then imagine the bus driver how irritable can be. uh, Not good. Yeah. Now, third topic, as per usual, what to expect. Next week, Borderlands 3 drops on Friday. Um, that is inevitable. Mm. Now, I said I'm not one for pre-ordering, and I held myself back from pre-ordering lots and lots of things ever since Farm Sim 19 came out. But the other thing where I made an exception is Borderlands 3. So yes, indeed, I have that on pre-order, uh, and I'm very very hyped for that. You can tell, uh, and I'm fairly sure that I will do a let's play on that from the get-go. I don't know when Rob is going to get his copy, um, and when he's joining in, but that is also a plan. So uh, you guys can get prepped for that. In the meantime, I'll probably focus on other Borderlands games over the week, um, or I would say on another, because I think uh, it's going to be our yapping time slash let's play series on the pre-sequel that we will move on with. Or possibly I want to repeat our failure with the raid boss in the new Borderlands 2 DLC, but turning it into a success. Um, so that's a thing that I I could enjoy, but we'll see what we are in the mood for. Um, and then of course once Borderlands 3 launches, that is going to be the backbone of the content. Um, if Rob picks up his copy early on, I can imagine we play that every single evening, and that will create a crap load of content. Um, so yeah, but then again, I will do this story time slash uh, Marvel Manor mini series from time to time, because I just cannot stay away from it. And for some reason, and I don't know why that is, my farm sim videos are much more successful than anything else. So sometimes I'm like, I'm going to turn this channel into a farm sim channel, but then again no, because I'm not only about farming simulator, and you have to accept that, guys. I enjoy it through and through. I spend lots and lots of time with it in my free time, uh, but still, it's not the only thing that I do. Yeah, so there's that. Mm. Now things are moving real nice. Mm, that's been two loads, even though one was two-thirds full when we dropped in. Um, and there is less and less wheat on that field standing. Mm. So it's going nice. Now let let me be clear with this mini series. It's not going to be a straight progression. It's going to be snapshots of me turning this field and the other fields into potato fields. So where to park it? Because now it's alternating. Let's just stay over there so that the combine can turn around at the end. Yeah, like so. So it's going to be snapshots of that. Because it may happen that I have like an hour or so on my hands that I want to spend with this, um, albeit it's highly unlikely because in the evenings I mostly play other games with Rob and other people who don't play Farm Sim. I know, horrible. I totally feel you guys who say that. That would be so cool if I played, but I don't. Um, so I usually have a few off time and then I do that, but not not as much as I wanted to. And as it happens, I have less and less time because another uh, thing that I forgot in Storytime, it's an interesting development that I've been approached to take up lessons in the evening school as well at the school that I am teaching right now, mm, which is practically the same business except for people who for some reason dropped out from secondary school. Back then they were in that age and now they regret it and they want to continue with that because mind you in the Hungarian school system, these are my sheep, I forgot to say because I'm explaining so heavily. So in the Hungarian school system, uh, you only have to visit school. Oh, it's 67, not 16. Uh, until you get to be 16-year old, and then it's no longer compulsory to be in school. Um, and there are people who are not even done with. Where are the? Oh, there it is. It's a. Uh, I don't even know what that is, but it's a jet fighter for sure. Okay, so there are many people who don't even get to the end of primary school uh, before they turn 16, and then they are usually dropping out of the school system with what they have. I think it's the same everywhere else in the world, just probably not at 16. Now, and so for these people there is an opportunity, but that's absolutely uh, voluntary on their part. So the good part is that those who get to the secondary education part of that are mostly motivated people who have regrets for not doing that when that was their business. Mm, and I'm going to teach these people, and I do hope it's going to be a great experience. Now it's going to be one afternoon a week, but it's going to take the whole of my Thursday afternoons from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Um, but that is most of all that is extra experience and of course some extra money, which is not bad in a world where you have bills to pay and all that, and still at the end you have to eat as well. Yeah. So where was I? Yeah. So I was saying that because I really don't have too much time, but when I have a few hours offhand a week, I will progress with this, and things will move, and you will see snapshots. Like right now, I've made this video when I was like, I don't know, 2.5 hours, no, almost 2 hours in, yeah, in cutting this field, because I leased this combine when I went into the field. If you guys want to know how much was missing from the wheat, then check out my double whammy mod spotlight where I tried the New Holland combine over here. The sorry, the TX66. Mm, but most of the field was waiting for this bad boy. So yeah. So yeah, and as I said, that's a real nice combine, and I'm so happy that I went for this one. It's fitting absolutely well. The reason I went for this one and not the in-game T560 is the better wheel selection. I like my combines with floaty big wheels, and this one had those on offer. Uh, but as it turned out, it's just one of the highlights on this one. The header that comes with it is pretty good. Uh, so it's a nice one if you're looking for a mid-sized combine. And one of the areas where farming simulator is lacking is mid-sized combines. There is a huge dark spot in the inventory at that part, um, both in terms of in-game combines and modded ones. And this is a nice option of the very few. Now I'm really excited about the Platinum DLC because that Tucano is coming with it, and I think it's going to be comparable to this one, the Tucano. And I probably I'm going to be on the market for a Tucano when that arrives. Uh, on this farm, because by that time I may get to the point where I want to do something else between two turns of potato, and then a Tucano is going to be nice. Or I will be impatient and I will go for the huge ass Lexion right away. Who knows? But to test out the Lexion thoroughly, I have other plans. And they are in motion as well, so you will going to see that. And also I think there are going to be lots and lots of nice machinery in that DLC that I'm going to give a very thorough try out uh, once it drops at the end of October. or is it at the end of November? I lose track of time sometimes. But anyway, I think that DLC is going to be the next hype spike after Borderlands 3, which is at the end of next week. So it's really close. Um, yeah. So mm, yeah, mid-sized combines are great. Because one of the reasons I wasn't happy with that Lexion, of course, is what was how its chopper worked. A minor problem was the rear axle, and the main problem was its size. It was just it felt just too big for this field. Now, um, at the lower end of the mid-sized combines is uh, the Class Mega. That is the conversion of the Vertex Design 1 from the Farm Sim 17 contest, and that's a real nice combine, but that is already the case of being too small, because Class Mega is at the lower end of what I call mid-sized combines, but it's that also means that for fields like that it's pretty small. Now that means I would use it without much problem on a Hungarian map, because in Hungary large combines, well, they are a thing now, but they weren't up until the latest times. Like with our comprehension, this T560 is considered a large combine, really, in real life. I mean the WTS series John Deere combines are large beasts. Uh, and that is in relation with the financial situation of farms here in Hungary, mostly not the size of fields, because especially in the Great Plains of Hungary there are huge fields, um, but uh, the practice is usually that they are cut by several smaller combines at the same time. So you don't see stuff like in the US where a field that is going on for days is cut by like two hugest combines. Nah. Also, I can hardly imagine, say, a John Deere S790 rolling on the Hungarian roads, because even if the road is closed down and it can take both lanes, uh, both lanes are still too narrow for it. So not very typical. Yeah. And we had another combined rant. Great. Mm. And we're slowly getting done with this. Yeah. As for potato equipment, I think I'm going to go with the largest of the two planters that are in game, that are vanilla, and I'm going to have the Kleine uh, potato harvester. So that's pretty clear cut. Oh my god, what am I getting into? It's going to be ages to harvest all the potato from this field with just one harvester, and it's going to be crap tons of potato, but that will make me rich, at least in game. and you guys can watch it and hold your hands in a or your heads in a double face palm, and oh my god, what this guy have gotten into. This is crazy, man. And you're going to be 100% right. Ooh, possibly I will get a larger trailer as well. It's just I don't know, because then uh, probably a larger tractor would be also warranted, because this Fant is, I think, rated at 200 something horsepower, and large tridem trailers are, or triaxle trailers are, usually quite horsepower heavy, aren't they? Especially when they are loaded. Um, Especially when they are loaded with potato. Because let's be real for a second. I would imagine a trailer load of potato would be uh, with equal dimensions, would be much heavier than a trailer load of wheat, just because the potato has uh, so much more moisture in it. So practically it matters if you're carrying a trailer load of crops, or you're carrying a trailer load of water. Mm, but we'll see. Because this trailer is real nice. It's probably you've seen that it's the one released by Giants, I think. Um, and I like it. The only problem is that it's not really two loads of the 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 Klein harvester's grain tank, because it takes like 33,000 liters, uh, and the Klein has a crop tank of 20,000. So yeah, if I had something around 40,000, that would be great. Especially if this fender can yank it around without much problem. So these are really first world problems. But that's alright, because we're in the first world. Also, if I go for a baler over here, I'm going to go for the one axle New Holland baler. That looks pretty neat. Um, and I may do a mod spotlight on that one soonish. To have an extra snapshot over here. To do that, I may bring down the Unimog from Oakfield. That would be neat. I mean the Unimog 2100. Because I have a Unimog over here, it's just not the 2100. Did I open that? No, I didn't. Of course. And I think I'm going to finish this video over here. Um, and I'm going to see you guys next time. Take care. Until then, bye bye.